What up, guys? Your boy Coffis, and we're back with another one. Now, I want to start by saying this is probably going to be my last Enshrouded video, and the reason that is because I have to go out of town for the next couple of weeks, so when life calls, I answer. It just is what it is. One day I'll be a professional gamer, and I'm going to sit here and make games or videos for you all day. With that said, I had a couple more videos that was going to come out, and they were going to be build videos, but since I have to go out of town, I decided to take both of those builds and combine them together. And honestly, I was extremely happy with how this build turned out. I'm calling it the Huntsman. As you can see, it's definitely long range mixed with melee, and it works very, very well. There's a lot going on. You could be hyper aggressive with the melee damage if you want. We're still very tanky. You have a lot of stamina, and you have a lot of stamina regen, so you can move around if you want. You can also stand back and do the pop shotting or the long range shots that do really nice damage. I mean, overall, I've had a blast playing this. This is a little bit more on the higher skill just because you have to land your shots. You can lock on and do shots like what you saw right there, but mainly it's a little bit higher skill. If you're someone that plays Magic, maybe step away from this because, you know, if you play with Magic, you have zero skill. Just kidding, guys. No, I'm not. Anyways, there's a lot of AoE, there's a lot of single target damage, there's a lot going on with this overall build, as you can see. Where you seem to have problems with the single target damage with the bow, you could definitely clean that up with the melee, and vice versa. When you seem to have problems with the melee, you can just step back and clean that up with the bow, and I feel like this is going to be a fun build for most players. I have thoroughly enjoyed this build over the past couple of days of playing with it. I mean, I still love the tank build, but this is starting to catch my eyes, maybe my all-time favorite. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright guys, getting into it, let's just go straight into the armor. So first off, I'm wearing the Deerstalker helm. Now you can change this out if you want. You can definitely run Eagle Eye or you can run Dead Eye. They're all pretty much the same. It's really just comes down to what you want to look like. I'm a Fashion Souls guy, so I went with this just because it matches what I'm wearing. That's the only reason I chose that. They're all good. As far as chest piece, now there was a very specific reason I chose the Soldier chest plate, just because it has more health and it has really nice resistances along with a little bit of stamina. Now, if you're looking for more of the stamina, then I would run either the Deerstalker or the Eagle Eye, because you can see there's 48 stamina on both, 24 health on both. If you're looking for that and you want to have a little bit more resistances, then I would say the Rogue chest plate, which you get from the blacksmith. It is the same thing pretty much. It's just the better version of it, in my opinion, because you have better resistances and you have better health, as you can see. So, you know, I went for this for a reason. You can go for any of these for your reason. It is what it is. My build is your build. Build however you want. Deerstalker has the gloves. They're huge just because they have the 12% damage buff to them. You can also run the Eagle Eye if you want. You know, if you want to go more long range damage, run the Eagle Eye, but if you want the more overall, then I would say Deerstalker. I just feel like Deerstalker works better for this build, but you can run whatever you want here as well. As the pants, I'm running the Paladin just because they have health regeneration and health attached to them, plus they're tanky. They're probably the tankier pants that you can wear. That's where I'm standing on it. I want to have a little bit more tankiness with this because we are doing melee. And as far as boots, I am doing the Eagle Eye boots just because stamina regeneration and stamina regeneration delay. These are pretty nasty, so it works really well with this build. As far as rings, you know, I'm just running basic Andy ring. Run whatever you want here. I specifically chose these just because of the regenerations that they have. As far as weapons, now we just went over armor. As far as weapons, I feel like the Tainted Axe is really good with this. Now this is an axe build. You can run swords. You don't have to run anything that I'm going here, but the bows we'll go over in a second. The Tainted Axe is really good. The Wolfpack Axe is okay. I feel like the Hair Splitter is the best. This is something I really, really like. This is really nice. And then the Lumen, I think, yeah, Lumen Shade Axe is also really, really good. These two axes are really solid if you want to run an axe build. And, you know, that's up to you. If you want to run axe build, you definitely can run swords. I feel like swords can work much better with this, but we're the Huntsman, so we're keeping with a very specific playstyle. Also, keep grenades on you. Grenades work very, very well regardless of your build. I feel like they work really well in this build, so I'm constantly keeping grenades on me all the time. You probably saw in the opening I was hitting things with grenades. It just is what it is. As far as bows, Forsaken and Shadowbane are my two favorites just because they have stamina leech and they have health leech and all that on them. You can run any of these bows that you want. Composite bow is really good. Ornate bow is not bad at all. It's actually really solid, as you can see all the stats on it. Ignited bow is okay. I was getting some serious damage out of it from time to time, but it wasn't consistent. Arsonist bow, it's whatever. The Banebringer is actually really solid, and then if you get your hands on the Wolf Snarl, it's really good bow. I've only had one of these drop ever. The only reason that I like it so much is because it has more power, but it is a little bit slower as far as arrow speed. So it's really up to you which bow you guys want to use. It doesn't really matter. I just highly suggest the Forsaken and the Shadowbane just because it works well with this build. and get into the skills. As you can see, I put a point at the bottom all the way through here. So all greens and all reds all the way through. We're not going to use any of the blues because we're not doing any magic with this build. So greens and reds all the way through. Starting off with a bow tree, you're going to come all the way out to the right, and we're going to come all the way out here just to have very specific things. Really, I came out for the dexterity on both of these nodes right here. So that's what I really wanted. You don't have to go any further. If you want to, you can. This is all about doing exploding arrow damage or whatever. I don't think it's that good. Obviously, exploding arrows are really solid in this game, but I feel like to be able to constantly craft those or whatever can annoy somebody. So I stayed away from those just so you can do this with poison and iron arrows, which is really, really nice. Stay away from silent stride. It's literal dead skill. I've tested it. You barely move faster. It's pointless. Don't put points in that. And you don't need eagle eye either. I mean, you don't really need to zoom in to be doing this. You should be close quarters with this build anyways. Medium range is max. If you want this, you can go for this, but I feel like it's another dead skill. You don't need it. Coming up, we went through here marksman to counter to sharpshooter. This is all for the bow. All the way up to multi-shot. You want multi-shot. It has a 20% chance to proc, and it's really good. It does really solid damage when it does proc. You're already doing good damage, but when it happens, you're doing great damage. Then, of course, put a point in here just for the +2s and the +5s. I mean, this is a no-brainer. You want this. And then Bee Sting. Bee Sting is great, man. I use this a lot. I wasn't expecting what it was, but when I started to use it, I fell in love with this. This is very, very easy to get out of like sticky situations. You just glide in the air and just kind of dust people. So Bee Sting is really nice. I highly suggest Bee Sting. Coming down, more points in endurance. We come across through here. Now I came up here for very specific reasons. I love double jump, and I really feel like double jump works really well with this build just because of Bee Sting. We can double jump. We can just hover in the air forever. Came up through here just for swift shot. That's really nice to have. And of course, backstab mastery, which is another 30% damage as long as we're behind a target or on their flank. That's from mid to back, which is always really, really good. Good metabolism is whatever, but I really just came in here for rebound just to increase our stamina regeneration by another 50%. And if you have a sweet tooth, you can get another 50%. So that's double regeneration right there. But really, we just came up for another point into dex. And then down here, we came in for strength, jump attack. We came in for more strength, and then vigorous deflection we don't really need. But the only reason I came up here was just for more strength and constitution, as you can see. So we have a pretty good constitution, strength, and dexterity build going on. We have a quality build actually going on if you're a Dark Souls guy. One point here for just more strength. And then, of course, I came down through here just to come through slasher and butcher so we can do more damage with our axes or anything that cuts. Obviously, you can do sword, like I said. And then more strength and constitution, as you can see. Came down here just to swing a little bit faster, and then overall more constitution. So we're a little bit tankier on the health pool. And then, of course, I came down through here just for more defense. But the real reason I came down through here is just to get 2 more points into strength so we can hit harder with our melee. And I'm never going to do a melee build without evasion attack. I think evasion attack is so good. So we came into evasion attack. If you see anything in here that you want to change, go for it. You can definitely take this out if you don't want to, and you can put these in here if you want to do more damage with the explosive arrows. It's up to you guys, but that is the build that I'm standing with. Nice. And just real quick, I want to show you our overall stats while we're fully food buffed. Now, I run very specific foods, and I will get into those here in a second, but here's our overall stats. As you can see, we are a quality build, like I said earlier. You have really good health. You're pretty tanky on this, and you do some serious damage. So we're not too bad in the damage department here. I don't know why it's showing that. But yeah, that's that. And for the overall foods, we are definitely taking this right here, the open sandwich, just because it gives us +4 to our strength. That's more damage, and you get constitution out, so that's more health. Why not? You can run this. I am currently switching between this and a couple other things. I'll go over this. This is just overall more health. It's just going to make us tankier. If you don't want to run that, I would highly suggest maybe running this because we have sweet tooth. This counts as a sweet, so that's just going to give us more stamina regeneration overall. Obviously, I'm running this vegetable soup. It's huge. It's a +4 to our dex. It just allows us to do more damage with the bow. And then, of course, spice tea is what I was switching in and out, and this just gives us more overall endurance or stamina. If you don't want to run that, you don't have to run that. Everything else is kind of more up to you, situational. You can run the healing if you want, but I would suggest strength, constitution, and the dex. And if you don't want to run the constitution, then strength, dex, and the sweet. And that's really, really nice. All right, guys, that pretty much sums it up. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and comment. It helps this channel out a lot. It helps me out a lot. Like I said, I'm going to be gone for the next 2 weeks. So when I come back, I'm probably going to be playing something like Nightingale or some other game. Anyways, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the future. Later, guys.